Hi everyone, my name is Jane and this is Leafy Mabel's Closet, my little corner of the world on YouTube where I just chat about my love for dressmaking and all the outfits and patterns that I've been making up. So today's vlog is all about this pretty blouse that I'm wearing. It's the second that I've made. It's the Merchant & Mills Florence top. And welcome back. So as I said in the intro, today's vlog is all about this delicious little swishy blouse. That's all I can explain it as, the Merchant & Mills Florence top. This is the second one I've made actually. It's just a gorgeous swishy, ruffly, swishy top. And when I made the first one, which was this one here a while back, maybe earlier on in the year, maybe April-May time, I think it was. I made it in this viscose linen blend in this gorgeous dusky rose, and it was just a gorgeous make, really simple make actually. There's nothing too technical in the pattern, so if you're fairly new to dressmaking, I wouldn't say don't give it a go. Definitely give it a go. You do have a lot of ruffles on the bottom here. The whole of the top, I'll stand up and show you this one in a minute, but obviously you've got a lot of ruffle going on, and if you follow me you'll know I like a ruffle or two, so it does have a ruffle, but that's not technical. It's just, you just got to make sure you get all you gather right, and there's nothing else technical apart from maybe 3 buttonholes on the back, and it's just like a built-in turnover type of placket, so there's no like extra plackets to fiddle about and add. It's just, you've got an extra piece of fabric here which you turn over, and then you top stitch, and it creates like the placket effect. And then it's just got the cutest little sleeves, and it's just got like the ruffle goes shorter at the front and then it goes right up at the back, and I love that, and you get this lovely effect on it, and it's just so feminine, it's so pretty, it's got so much movement, and when I put it on I just feel really good in it. And that's what I really want to do when I'm making my clothes. I want to feel good when I'm making items and accessories and separates, because I am more of a separates girl rather than a dress. And when I put clothes on, I want to have that feeling where I just feel really good. And that's what I've been tending to do lately actually, is ask myself a few questions. A, obviously I like it because I wouldn't be making it. And when I put it on, B, is it me? Do I feel like it's me? Because some things I've made thinking, oh, it's really nice, I like it, and make it. And then when I put it on, I just think, nah, it's just not me. And it either goes to, my mum takes it, my daughter takes it, or it goes in the charity bag, because I'm trying to make things that makes me feel happy, makes me feel feminine, makes me feel amazing, makes me feel the best that I am. And if there's any doubts or anything, I think, no, it's not really me, and I'm walking about in something that's not really me, then I'm not conveying who I am. And that's what I'm trying to do. I am trying to make my own wardrobe that is totally me, and it's quite selfish, I suppose, in a way, because you are making it just for yourself. You're not making it to look nice for anybody else. You're making your outfits, your clothes, your wardrobe for you. So it's completely all about me. And if it's something I love or don't like, then I make a decision from there. So I have got quite a few fails. That Leopard's jacket that I made earlier on in the year, that was a just total disaster. I don't think, the style is quite nice, but the colour was awful on me. It just didn't do anything for my colour tones and my skin. And that's before I did myself a little colour wheel, and it wasn't one of my colours anyway, and it just didn't do anything for me at all, and that was a total disaster. Also, it's no hardship, is it, that you've made something and it's just not you? It's not the end of the world. Obviously, you've spent money on your fabric, you've spent money on your pattern, but hopefully you can reuse your pattern. Maybe the fabric isn't me, or the pattern, or maybe the pattern just isn't me, whatever. And yeah, you spent money on it, but it's not the end of the world, is it? And I'd rather not wear something because it doesn't make me happy than wear it and because I've bought fabric and I've spent money on it, so I'm going to wear it. So I'm not going to do that at all. I'm going to be totally 100% true to me. So this top is one of those tops that as soon as I put it on, it's like, yes, this is me. Just like the Rochester that I made last week. It's just like, yes. Same with the Maria apron. I love wearing that apron, and I love my Cressida jumpsuit. Just, you know, when you put something on and you just go, yes, straight away in the mirror. So this is one of those tops. So I thought I'm going to make another one. So I had this fabric. I got this fabric with quite a few other fabrics that I got from Laura Material Girl. And I got this back in. I think I've still got the dispatch note. Let's see if there's a date on it. No, there's no date on it, but it was, could be March, February, March. I got this fabric, and this is called Flower Show, and it's a spun polyester, and it's so pretty. I mean, floral, me again. It's just so pretty, and it's got all these colours in that ideal for mixing and matching. So I'll stand up and just show you the fabric a little bit more detail so you can see. Isn't it just prettiest floral fabric? So it's got the black, it's got the white, it's got that caramel tanny type of colour like stone, it's got lovely pink, it's got cerise pink, it's got amazing colours that I can mix and match with. So this is a summer blouse at the minute because we're in August, but I'll be wearing this throughout the year. And if you know me, you know I like to layer, and it's just going to be a great top. Now it's spun polyester, so the only thing with polyester I find, sorry, just getting tangled up in my microphone, is it will not iron, or it will iron, but it just won't press like, say, cotton or linen. So I had to literally put every weight I had onto my iron to press it. But it still doesn't, it's not like as pressed as I would like, but that's because it's got the polyester in it. But apart from that, and it's lovely and swishy, it's light, it's just a gorgeous fabric. And I've got the buttons on the back, and then it's got the lovely buttons on the back, and I just added 3 black buttons, and I've just stitched it with pink cotton just to highlight the pink. And I just love it. Absolutely love it. Now for this one, I got 1.5 meters, and you can get this blouse out of 1.5 meters, no problem. But because it's a polyester and it is a little bit slippy slidey, shall we say, I wasn't going to faff about making my own bias for the neck. And I just use a plain pink ready bought bias, and simple as. The only thing is though, you can kind of see it slightly popping out a little bit, but no issue there. So, and it's a really simple make. The longest part is obviously getting your ruffles right. So I used for my ruffles on this one the Clover Fuse and Gather tape. I've mentioned this before in a previous vlog, and it's really simple. All you do is iron it on. If you're not too keen on doing your 2 rows of gathering threads on your machine, this is a good option to use. So it's fusible tape, and it's got the 2 lines of blue stitching, and you iron it obviously with the fusible side down along where you're going to do your gathering, and then you would just pull your 2 blue threads, anchor one end, and then pull your other 2, and then it gathers for you, and then you just get a nice even neat gather. And the beauty, I don't think it's any quicker than doing it on the machine, so either way works really well, but I suppose it depends what you prefer. The only good thing about using the tape I find is that those 2 blue threads are really strong. They must be made of polyester or something really strong, so there's no fear of them snapping, because you know when you do your gathering, especially if you're doing a big piece of gathering and you've nearly done and then your thread snaps, then you've got to redo it all again. You don't get that with this. Well, I've never found it to snap once on me yet, so they really are good strong threads. And I'll pop the link from where I got this from in the box below if you fancy having a try. As I say, it's not any quick, I don't think, but it's a good way to get nice even gathers. I didn't use it on this Florence #1, but since I got it, I've used it on this one, and yeah, it's quite good. It's quite easy to just obviously iron it on, pull the threads, get your nice even gathers, and it's done. So that's an option if you're not too keen on doing the gathering threads on your machine. And you have a couple of rows of gathering stitches for the sleeves just to ease them in, and by the time you eased your sleeves in, there's very little gathering on the sleeve head, hardly any that you can notice. I'll show you on the pink version, you just got a tiny little bit, but what I find is though, if you just add loads and loads of pins, it does help with easing in the fabric too. And again, when you're doing your rows of gathering, when you've got, you know, you pin it into place, I just pin the life out of it. Even with that tape on, I pin all the way around. So it's like, use all my pins, because A, it keeps all your fabric in one place, B, it keeps all your ruffles nice and even, and C, I just think it gives it a little bit of stability as you're moving through the machine. Obviously take them out as you're going along, and I just think if you don't have as many pins in, sometimes your sewing machine foot can push your gathers and they can be like clumpy together, so you might have a bit that's not much gathering, and you might have a clump of gathers and it doesn't look as neat. So pin, that's my little tip for the day. So, but apart from that, there's nothing technical. As I say, there's 3 buttonholes, but most modern day machines now have the buttonhole function, and mine's got 9, I think, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I think mine's got 10 options, different buttonhole shapes and sizes. I just pick the same one every time, just the usual buttonhole, and it does it for you. You get your button, you put your button in the little gauge at the back, so the machine knows what size button to make the buttonhole for, and it's all done. There's no facings, there's no zips, there's no other openings to faff about with. So I really do think it's a good pattern to have a go at. As I say, if you're new to dressmaking, I wouldn't say don't give it a try. Definitely give it a try. Just take your time, read the instructions. I'll show you the instructions. This is obviously the PDF version, and there's a drawn picture so you can see a little bit more detail. And I did size 14 only because I did size 14 for that one, and I thought, well, I'm not going to trim this pattern down. I'll just do it as a 14 because it fits absolutely fine. It's not ginormous, it's not too loose, and because it's a nice flowy swishy type of top, you can get away with it being a little bit roomier. Now my measurements, as I say, I did size 14, so if you're just wondering what my measurements are so you can compare, my measurements are 38 bust, 29 waist, 39 hips, so, and 14's absolutely fine on me. I could have gone down to a 12, but as I say, I just left it at the 14. And you can definitely get all the sizes. Size 6 is a 31 bust roughly, all the way up to size 18, which is say a 42-inch bust. And you can get all the sizes out of 1.5 metres of fabric. You always have a bit spare. The only thing with mine is this fabric was maybe on the more of the narrower side. I'm not sure what the width of it was, but I couldn't quite get my back frill, because you cut them on the fold. I couldn't get this one across the full length of the fabric, full width of the fabric rather, so I think it was about that much I was short. But I thought it was no issue, it's because it's gathered, you're not going to notice a little bit of less in the gathering, so I just cut it out to what I had. And then obviously I just made sure that this one joined up at the side with that one, so I just had to trim it down a bit so it was the same width so I could stitch it together. But apart from that, and the instructions are fairly straightforward, so if you're just wondering what the instructions are like, I'll show you the instructions. So you get the diagrams, then you obviously get the step-by-step plan, and there's nothing in there that makes you want to scratch your head and go, what? Because I've had a few of those patterns before where I've just thought, what? Like 7 hours of how to put a zip in on my Jenny pants, there's an example. So there's none of that going on with this one, and it's a good little pattern. As I say, this is my Florence number 2, and I shall most definitely be making Florence number 3, 4, 5 and 6 probably, because it's a great layering top. And if you know me, you know I like to layer. I love to add tops on underneath that. I like to wear clothes throughout the year. I want to get full use of what I'll make. So I'll be wearing this throughout the winter because I can pick out the colours and put long sleeve tops on. I could even put a long sleeve polo neck on underneath, you name it. And so it's going to get well worn. And today I'm wearing it with my wide leg pants. I'll just show you again. This was part of my Sew the Look outfit number 3, I think it was, where I did it with that yellow stripe top. So this is the wide leg pants, one of my favourite trouser patterns. I did this in a Lady McElroy 8-ounce denim, I believe it was. And they're not really a jean as such, because there's no top stitching or jean zip or anything like that. There's no pockets on the back. But it's a great pattern. It's a wide leg pants by Peppermint Magazine, and it's a freebie. And I popped the card for the vlog where I show you a little bit more detail on what I thought of these jeans, and I'm going to be making them again definitely because they're just a great, and they fit me really well. I don't have to do any adjustments on this pattern. They fit me like a glove, whereas on my Jenny pants they're a little bit big on the waist. My Pietra pants, they're a little bit long on the crotch. So when I make them again, I'm going to have to maybe do a few adjustments on those patterns. But this pattern, no adjustments, straight out the box. So I'm really liking today's outfit that I've got on. So if you're just wondering about my Florence top number 1, you may have noticed the neckline is slightly different to when I first made it, because I popped some pictures up of the reason why. I think when I originally made the pink one, I made the binding, the matching binding, and I think I kind of stitched it on one side of the binding side. I kind of caught enough fabric in under the footer on my machine, under the foot on my machine, so obviously it's stitched in but only barely stitched in, which was fine at the time. But over the last few months I've worn it a lot of times, and it's been washed and ironed and washed and ironed and worn. That stitching, which must have been just clinging on, eventually has come away, started fraying around the neck, and I thought, oh, if I have to unpick it, it's going to be really fragile because it's quite a frayy type of fabric, especially around the neck area. And I thought, if I unpick it, am I going to spoil it? Will I be able to get it back, you know, fresh piece of binding back on? But then I would also have to unpick the placket and what have you. So it was my mum actually suggested that I'd add some binding to it. I've got in my shop, I've got quite a few of these gorgeous pretty bias binding floral bindings, and she said, well, why not add a little bit of floral binding to it and just, you know, stitch it over the top. So that's the one I've chose, and it's worked out really well. So all I did was, I didn't unpick anything. All I did, I had to undo that button because it was in the way of the foot to go on the machine, and I just literally, with the binding, pinned it over, completely over the neck, the original neckline. I didn't unpick a single thing, so it's gone on top. And I just made sure when I pinned through one side, the pin came out on the inside, so I knew that when I stitched it from the top, I was going to catch the underside in. And then I just tucked the ends in before I got to the end, and then just top stitched it, and it's just worked out really well. And it's got the pink in, so it picks out the pink. It's got white because I wear a white top underneath it, so it picks out the white. So that's absolutely fine. So really, it's just a little bit of sewing repair going on for this top. I didn't want to throw it away, and I didn't want to risk, you know, if I started unpicking it and it loses its shape because it's been well worn and the fabric is, you know, probably a little bit delicate in that area. I thought, no, I won't do that. And it was a good idea that my mum gave me, so well done, Mum. As I say, brilliant. This floral tape, I've used it on a few of my dressmaking now, just for things like that, and just maybe to add a pretty touch instead of adding the plain. Obviously, I'll use plain for this because this is quite a loud print. but it's, you know, a nice pretty option, and I'll pop the link for my shop in the box below. I always put all the links for everything I mention in my vlogs in the box below, and then you can go and have a browse if you so fancy. Some of them may be affiliate links and it doesn't cost you any more. You probably know this anyway, it doesn't cost you any more, but if you do click on those affiliate links and you decide to buy, I get a small commission, and thank you very much. And all the pennies from that come right back into my channel for me to buy more fabrics, pretty trimmings, cottons, threads, you name it, anything for me to keep on growing my channel. And that's what I'm trying to do. So thank you in advance. So that's what I did, and that was a good idea from my mum. And obviously it's going to get well once until it drops to pieces completely. And the other thing I've been using a lot of lately that I wish I'd had way back then is my silk organza pressing cloth. I mentioned it in another vlog. I wish I had it for this top because I don't know whether you can see on the camera here, but it has, I mean, I love linen because the more you wash it and wear it, the more that old aged vintage look it gets. I love that. It's really organic and it like weathers well, I suppose. But it has got a few shiny marks on it where the iron, you can probably see where the iron has been a little bit too hot, or the iron has just kind of bruised the fabric. Well, you don't get that with these silk organza cloths. They prevent that happening, and I absolutely love this. I'll pop the link for where I got mine obviously in the box below. They're about £10–12. I know they seem quite expensive, but I'll have this forever now, and it really does do exactly what it says on the tin. It really does help you press all your fabrics, your delicate fabrics. It's excellent if you've got like gold embossing on your fabrics, like I did with my Sudley dress that had that gold leaf embossed pattern on it. Brilliant for things like that. It just helps preventing melting and what have you, and scorching. So I highly recommend, if you haven't got a silk organza pressing cloth, highly recommend you get one. But I think that's it for today. I've really enjoyed, again, sewing this top. It's just so made, so pretty, and I feel $1 million when I'm wearing it, which is that's the main thing, isn't it? Because it's all about creating a wardrobe that makes you feel good, makes you feel confident, makes you feel pretty, makes you feel just amazing, makes you feel good in your own skin. I've come a long way actually since this time last year, because I didn't think of any of those things when I was starting my dressmaking again. I was just thinking of, oh, let's make some nice clothes, you know, let's make something pretty, something that you can't buy in the shops. And I'm not frightened to say, no, that's a disaster, I don't like it, I'm not going to wear it because it just isn't right. Or I'm going to say, if it is right, I love it, and look at me, I feel amazing. Skippity skip down to my mum and dad's. I went down there this morning, I think it was about 9:10. My mum was still eating a cereal. And I said, oh, here's today's makes. So that was really funny, and my dad's like, oh, that's nice of you making that, and you know, the usual. So that's it for today's vlog. I hope I haven't waffled on too long, but I just like to share what I've made and hopefully inspire you, encourage you to have a go. And if you haven't already subscribed and you just found me and you like to follow along with all my dressmaking projects, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that little bell as well, and then you'll get notified of every time I bring out a vlog. I've got lots more sewing. I've got my sew the look coming, my next sew the look coming, so I'm looking forward to revealing that with you. I've got a collaboration that I'm still working on, and I'm also in another sewing challenge. My turn will be on the 11th. Watch out for that vlog, 11th of August. But until the next time, thanks for joining me today, and I shall see you on my next sewing vlog. But until then, please take care and happy dressmaking.